No, but you ruined it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, if your quarterback pulls out a gun and shoots the other quarterback, you might be the better team, but you lose the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the podcast, a show dedicated to talking about all the bonkers things in life, like music, content creation, and video games. I am one of your co-hosts, Juicy Kazoom.
Giggles Kazam.
Dude, that spun me right there. The eyes crossed.
And I'm Very the Clown.
Oh, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm sweating my balls off, dude. I'm so tired. It's so hot in here.
Bruh.
Oh, God. My wifey bought me, we got a giant box out in the front that I got to bring in, but it's basically, like a giant, massive baby gate door thing.
Uh-huh.
That I can put up at the top of the stairs because I have air conditioning in the rest of the house, just not in the basement. And like when you open up the door to the basement, it's like a 30-degree temperature difference because I've just got lights and computers running. And we can't leave the door open because the cat will get down here and there's like cables and carpet that she'll like tear up and whatever. So. But now with this, apparently it's like a full-size like baby gate that like opens like a door, so we don't have to worry about her like jumping over it.
Oh, that was gonna be my thing. I was like, yo, cats can hop right over baby gates. But
Yeah,
that's
no,
nice. Bro, put a little fan up at the top of the stairs and just
nice, dude.
That's what like so you saying no AC down there is like there is no singular day of the 365-day calendar year that would be okay in Florida. Like, from what to what is it just fine, and you're not really chilling, or you are chilling. You're not worried
like
about
without air conditioning.
Like from what time
really
to what
like
time do you not even notice?
July and August
are the bad months, and most of the rest of the year you're just like chilling.
If it gets up past 90, then it heats up down here a lot, but. The way my house is like the front of the house is ground level. The back,
oh,
is like,
yeah.
So it's like half of it's like underground, which normally keeps it, kind of cool, and then heat rises, but it just becomes a little bit of a furnace in here. So yeah,
bruh.
And I was just out mowing the lawn, lawn mowing.
Yeah. You were totally.
Yeah.
An hour ago, I was out, not mowing the lawn, but lawning the lawn. So sweating. Oof. I feel like I'm gonna pass out moment. It was like last week I was restoring our Blackstone. Anyways, I was doing it out there and it was super overcast, which was like nice. And I'm an idiot. I'm doing it at like 1 PM, right? When it's just like 4 billion degrees. But it was overcast. And dude, all of a sudden the freaking clouds just like parted and you don't realize it. And then the sun was just, I was just like all of a sudden almost, I was like, I'm going to pass out. And then I was like, oh, it's because the overcast is gone and I'm just baking in the sun. So yeah, that was fun. It's a good time.
I've only passed out once. And it was like, I've gotten like, I'm one of those people that I get like lightheaded. If I get up, because I'm always dehydrated, if I get up and like, do a big stretch after a long day, it's like
you're like, whoa.
I go into La La Land for a little bit. But yeah, I remember I think it like thinking back now, it had to have been one of my gallbladder attack things. At the time, I thought it was like food poisoning because I just had to like sit on the toilet and die basically.
Yeah.
And it was like insta like cold sweats.
Yeah.
Just drenched. But I remember getting up and going to walk to the bathroom, and then it was just like ears ringing. I'm on the floor. It wasn't even like
that's crazy.
When I get lightheaded, I can like feel it coming on, and I can kind of like go and sit down or whatever. This was just like time travel.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's scary.
It was wild.
That's so scary. Oof.
Glad I wasn't like walking yesterday. Like, Final Destination, because my wife has like a little clothes like drying rack sort of thing set up right next to the railing at the top of my stairs, so I kind of have to like move over towards the railing,
Yeah.
and I got lightheaded there, and I was just like, oh god,
Ah!
no, like not like this. I literally just like knelt down and was like, not like this. Yeah, not like this,
Dang.
dude.
Dang. Yeah, someone in chat said the full AC to the melting heat, that transition is brutal sometimes because it's so humid down here. You know how like you walk, if you're inside and you walk outside, it's super humid, like your glasses fog up. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like so humid down here. It's like that happens to your whole body. Like it's so weird. You associate sweat with like exercise and like I'm
Mhm.
sweating because I'm doing a thing, but it feels like you're sweating the minute. It's like what happens to your glasses happens to your skin. If it's chilly in the house and you walk outside, it's just like you just condensate. It's just
Yep.
crazy. And so it can be, yeah, it's gross. It's gross. But other than that, what you been up to? I see you're continuing down the Karen Reed trial.
Almost done. Almost done. They
Okay,
just
okay.
started like the defense.
Oh
Her
shoot.
defense. Brother, oh my god. Their case was so long, and it was 29 days of full days of trial,
That's
and
crazy.
they like didn't said nothing. Didn't said nothing. And holy there was this one guy, oh, what the hell is his name, chat? Someone tell me the name of the Trooper Proctor, the lead in
Trooper Proctor?
the lead investigator, brother. The
Trooper.
they Oh god,
The
they
lead investigator. So prosecution, or is he like actually with the police?
no, he was with like the police.
Okay.
But he was also like
Trooper.
literally buddies with half of the people that were like at the house. Denied knowing any of them when he really knew like 30% of them, but he's like, I don't know any, like he did everything wrong, said everything wrong. The local police like recused themselves from the investigation, and he was like having them set up meetings in rooms explicitly saying not the ones where they record, like,
bruh.
and then they made him read his text messages basically, because here's what happened.
Justice.
He was doing a bunch of on his personal phone
Okay.
related to the investigation, which basically means like, well, now your phone is evidence.
Yep.
So they were able to basically get all of his, and they made him read. Yeah, he's been suspended without pay. They made him read
His
his
text messages.
messages talked about the lawyer, how he hates the lawyer, and his derogatory R word client, and how he
Gotcha.
hoped that she would harm herself. There's the lead investigator is basically saying that he hopes she harms herself.
Bro, once again, stuff like that. How is that not just like instantly? We can't take anything you say as credible. Mistrial. Like I know that stuff like that doesn't immediately mean that she's innocent, but how?
No, but you ruined it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, if your quarterback pulls out a gun and shoots the other quarterback, you might be the better team, but you lose the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. It's like you ruined it. Yeah, that's a bit. Oh my god.
Yeah, unreal, absolutely unreal. And the things he said about her. So she had some medical conditions, just MS and a whole bunch of stuff. And the way he was just describing, you'll just have to Google it. I don't even want to say it. Called her the C word a bunch, and the defense lawyer was like just leaning into it.
Yeah.
And at one point he tried to spell it, and he was like, no, you're gonna say it, and he made him like go back and say it again. And then he just had him like repeat, sorry, what did you call her again? Can you tell me what you called? And he had to say it over and over again.
With her there too, right?
Oh yeah, she was sitting there looking right at him, and the other lawyer, who he was
God.
like, I hate this guy with all my heart. The other lawyer's just sitting there like laughing, like.
Oh my god.
Now here's the thing: she was kind of a person.
Karen.
Like she like literally had like messages on his phone like that night, being like, I hate you. Like
yeah.
she definitely wasn't like a great
Yeah,
person,
once
but
again.
she almost definitely didn't kill him.
And once again, if you're the lead investigator, you're held to a higher standard. You know what I mean? Either if you like, it's yeah. Once again, this isn't is Karen Reed a good person?
No.
You know what I mean? That's crazy.
And the most savage part of the whole thing, it was actually worse than Proctor reading all of his like hate texts. Was they had an accident like recreation expert guy, and bro, I actually was like infuriated.
He's
First of
like,
all, I
I
had
found a
flashbacks
random
to-
person and I backed into him to see if I could recreate.
I mean, I literally made that joke. Because at one point it's like, what if anything did you do to recreate this, you know, whatever? And I was like, oh, I got
Yeah, I found
random
someone.
passerby. So first of all, one of the first things I found out, actually no, it was one of the last things I found out, is that when he was like there doing the whole thing, like someone was like a trainee was there with him.
Okay, when
And
he
if
was
you-
recreating.
No, not even that. Just like as a part of when he went to go, I don't remember, do
Gotcha.
something. He was just saying, oh yeah, there was somebody with me and they were a trainee. After hearing what he was doing and saying, I'm like, no. So first of all, he had an associate's degree in like not criminal justice, but something similar to CJ.
Okay.
An associate's degree, and he was like a police officer. But so like an accident recreation, you know, expert, basically.
Yeah.
You're the one that's like literally figuring out like the physics of all this. He didn't know like anything about physics. Like
Imagine the crossover if he was a flat earther.
I was getting flashbacks to the flat earthers.
Oh God.
The lawyer who was like basically gave him like an exam and he failed it in the most depressingly bad way. Like he asked him, the guy didn't know what acceleration was. He didn't know acceleration. He's like basically like what is like the change in, you know, speed over time, and he didn't know what acceleration was.
Yeah, I was literally just gonna say, was he counting in Mississippi?
No, it's actually worse. And I've been playing the soundboard. You won't even believe it, dude. You won't even believe it. This guy. So here's what he had to work with. Okay.
Okay. Ugh.
So he showed up at like the garage where like the car was and met with Trooper Proctor.
Okay.
And like one of the other guys, and they basically like said, okay, you know, like here is I think maybe they showed him a picture or something. Like here is where his body was found.
Yep.
These are where a few of the shards of the taillight were found.
Okay.
And at that point, they already knew she ran him down. And this guy, I'm telling you, had 85 IQ. Like, no joke. I think he had 85 IQ, and you'll see why. So this guy, to like do his job, I guess, from that information alone, and a little bit of the car information, like she pulled a U-turn at like midnight or something. Like that was basically it. And he didn't know the difference in a U-turn and a 3-point turn, which is good for an accident recreation specialist. But effectively from that much information, he was able to say, oh, well, what happened was the guy was standing here like this over here on the thing, and the car backed up, hit 24 miles an hour, hit his shoulder, he spun around, landed on his back, and then all of the pieces flew out this way, and he flew, you know, blah, blah, however long, however many feet, and it was like, he just made it all up. Like, there's no way this guy could have known any of that. Like, how claiming to know what the guy's arm position was? Now, keep in mind, his only injuries were busted up head and clear
Scratches.
dog bites and slashes on his arm. And from that's why he had to put the arm out here, and he got hit. And
Bruh.
and of course, first of all, where they pointed to where the body was the wrong location. It was like 30 feet away from that. And part of his justification was like the debris field, but there was like missing pieces there that would have been like behind the body, which wouldn't have made sense. He was missing a shoe that was basically like nowhere to be found, and his cell phone was found underneath him, which is just kind of weird. If you get hit.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna play you a couple of sound bites that I've just been playing on repeat because it's hilarious, and I want you to just take in that this is the state prosecutor's expert testimony.
Okay, this is not from a TV show. This is a human being whose job is to recreate accidents, and this is his testimony in court.
Yep, under oath as an expert.
Okay.
And basically asked to explain about like how did you come to the determination of like the trajectory of him when he gets hit.
Okay, hit me.
It's more of a side swipe. So he did not ascertain. He did not get enough speed of the vehicle post impact with the vehicle to be able calculations.
What?
That's why I did not do a formula. And using that projection forward, he would have been able to get more closer to the actual speed of the vehicle during that post impact travels.
And it went on for like over an hour. Oh, and there was
he
a
did
back
not
and forth
get enough
that
speed of the vehicle. What does that mean?
He did not get enough speed to determine that travels. It was he shit his pants, dude, on on the stand.
Yeah.
He was, and the judge and everyone kept having to be like, what are you saying?
What?
Like, can you, because he was just mumbling like he had a mouthful of peanut butter, couldn't get anything out.
You know what's crazy?
And
that eerily reminds me of how my like 3 and 6 year old try to like tell, like they are trying to emulate what they see. And so like they see we tell stories, like, you know, I tell my wife something that happened, she tells me, I like to, you know, tell stories to the kids. And so when they have predetermined that like what they want to do is like tell a story, but there are no details, right? They just have started. It sounds, I mean, dude, like dad, so we went to there was a park, and we speed. We were going so fast, like the weird random pause.
Have you ever had a dream
dude.
when you have you ever
yeah, oh yeah.
That kid, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever had it?
Have you ever when you have your favorite? Have you ever when you?
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god, bro.
And oh god, it's just so asinine that he had all of that stuff. He couldn't explain literally any of the. He didn't know that he was talking about like kinematics, and he couldn't answer the question that kinematics was a subset of physics. He didn't know that. He couldn't answer any questions about like the conservation of momentum. The guy was basically asked him like the 9th grade physics class of what was the total amount of momentum before the accident versus after the accident. And it's like there's a net zero, nothing changes, the conservation. And the guy's like, oh, okay, like I don't know what that is.
Oh my god.
And then oh my god, and then today there was another cop that under his breath, although right next to the microphone, was like, kill me. Like it was totally quiet, and like there was like an objection, and someone was like futzing around with papers, and the guy was just like, he like looked over and he's like, kill me. And it was like super loud, like on the microphone. No one probably heard him in court, but everyone, the millions of people were like,
oh my god, dude.
Like, I don't know what that was a
joke.
And then today, this was the worst part. After that whole thing with this dude, okay?
Yeah.
After that whole thing, there was a challenge to an expert, well, kind of a last minute expert witness that came in that was going to testify on behalf of Karen Reed.
Okay.
Okay, this woman in the 70s went to MIT for pre-med.
Okay.
But then her mom died of cancer. And so during that, she went home to like take care of her and be with her. She died of cancer and like sort of recovering from that downtime. She then went and went into the police academy.
Okay.
Was a sworn police officer. Now, keep in mind, this is a woman in the 70s.
Yeah.
And I'm getting the order of this wrong, but she got her bachelor's degree in psychology.
Okay.
Then went and got a medical degree.
Okay.
And became a professor. And then became did 2 like fellowships. There's like 7 other things.
Okay.
I'm like trying to remember. Just she had like the most Giga Chad resume.
Yeah.
She wrote a ton of books. She was a coroner. She worked at like a prison hospital thing and was like the director of that for like 15 years.
So just like
she wrote a book on dog attacks where they did like the biggest data analysis of over 700 dog attacks. And the prosecutor was like trying to grill her on her expertise, and like after we hear
and using that projection forward, he would have been able to get more closer to the actual speed of the vehicle during that post-impact travels.
And the guy was like condescendingly like, you don't have this certificate, you don't have that certificate.
Oh my!
And this bitch is like, I have like 17 degrees and like 50 years of experience.
Yeah, and a lifetime of experience.
And she retired like a couple of years ago, but she heard about it through like like an email from the Boston Globe that talked about a trial, and then she was talking to like some person that she knew that knew about the case and mentioned it to her. And then she's like heard about the controversy and was like, oh, I have this expertise, I can help. Because there was some drama controversy over the dog stuff, and they were trying to basically imply that she was like clout chasing. It's like, this bitch has done everything. What do you mean? She doesn't need. And he's like, oh, so you're retired, right? Like, you've been out of the game for a while. And she's like, I've literally seen with my eyes thousands of dog bites and scratches and attacks. I wrote the book on it.
Literally. And her opinion is that there were dog bites?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bro.
Like to a degree of medical certainty.
Happening.
What? And then the guy tried to discredit her by being like, this was because you get like halfway through the testimony and then it's like the end of the day.
Yeah.
So then you like finish up, and I'm sure he did some Googling or something, and he's like, you're aware of this report, blah, 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 that like completely discredits like bite, like dental stuff. Like, it's totally unscientific. It's totally discredited. And she shat all over him because she was like, that's about looking at like human bite marks and comparing them to dental records to identify like that guy bit someone. That has nothing to do with saying those are dog bites. It's a completely different thing. But the guy thought he had like a gotcha, and everything just backfired. Completely backfired. It was devastating.
Once again, so 2 things. A, this is like so depressing that this is like our real legal system. Because once again, this isn't, it doesn't inherently prove that Karen Reed's a good person or even that she didn't do it. But like, how do you not just be like, okay, well, every smart person in the world says these are dog bites. The literal expert says these are dog bites. Your freaking accident recreation dude is high right now. How do we not have to assume, this? And then 2, it's depressing that like people like that dude are like responsible for like providing that information to actual courts.
You think about how many decades of like this corruption in this town and everywhere else, and all the people that are like in jail because of these people that shouldn't be.
And then once again, to define what they're there to do, the fact that one juror was not convinced that
There's
Beyond
an update
a
on that.
reasonable doubt.
There's an update on that.
Oh my God. What? Was he also high?
No. So one of the jurors basically after a couple days came forward and was like, we were unanimous that she was not guilty. There was multiple
Bruh.
charges.
Yeah.
It was like DUI, like leaving the scene of an accident, or in like, some kind of, murder too, or whatever it was, right? There was
Yeah.
multiple charges. And so they were, I think, unanimous on all but one.
Okay.
It was probably the drunk driving.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Because she was, she had a .08 like 6 hours after. So
Yeah,
she was
yeah.
probably drunk. But they didn't poll the jury. Like whatever court administrative stuff there is.
Yeah.
So they didn't realize that it was a hung jury on only one of the counts. So, and I tried not to like read ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to. I want to like get up to date with the end of the trial, get to the mistrial, and then watch all the coverage on this. So, but there were hearings and whatever, and it could very well be relevant. Like this might be overturned. We'll see.
Yeah. Jesus, dude.
So there's like some semblance of a fucking light at the end of this.
Yeah.
Tunnel,
Hopefully. Hopefully.
What a giant.
That's a cluster. That makes sense, right? Like that's one of those things where it's like, okay, like that makes sense. There's the way this works. There's multiple counts, drunk driving or something like that. Like if she was driving drunk, we should get her on that, right? You know what I mean? So that would make sense if it was positioned in a way that the jury wasn't unanimous, but it was like, oh no, we were on most of it, So interesting. That's fascinating. Bro, what a cluster. That dude, it just like more and more it becomes just like a nightmare to think of yourself in these scenarios. Like it's what a circus. Like
and all I'm doing these days is I'm just thinking about like I should charge up my Apple Watch and wear it more often because between this trial, the Chandler Hallerson trial had like Apple updates every hour, and then all of a sudden they stopped.
Yeah.
Like the health kit kind of, or in the location, dude. It's crazy how much overlap there is with like what I specialized with, which was iOS location tracking was like my specialty.
Dang.
Like I have like a white paper out there somewhere that I can't even talk about because I'll dox myself, and a patent. Actually, I think 2 patents. It's me and all of my coworkers at the company I was at the time, but like that's my shtick. That's my,
Yeah, thankfully I don't do anything. I'm either live on camera or at home with my family 24/7. So
yeah, that's gonna be my alibi. Is that I'm live? But I mean, I guess think about it though. You could at some point that's gonna be. I was thinking about this, dude. I'm like, this is the way I think. I was thinking about at what point is there going to be like expert witness testimony for something related to content creation where you're going to have somebody come in and say like, well, this is how OBS works. This is how if it's a VOD versus a live stream. How do you know if they're live, if they're interacting with the chat? Could it be pre-recorded? All of these different kinds of things. And I'm like, I started to think today, I wonder if there's something that like I could do to like, I don't know.
Dang. You could, okay, so whenever I'm in between raids, I pull up a scene that merges my YouTube chat and my Twitch chat together. So you could go into the VOD and see that I was responding to messages, and then you could also go into the Twitch or YouTube actually chat VOD and find those messages so that you could actually see those messages were delivered today at this time and I was responding to them, which I never could have done if I had.
Can you imagine? That would be like the perfect alibi if you coordinated with a bunch of people to be in chat responding to your VOD, that your pre-recorded thing with gameplay up. That would be but I mean, just thinking about how much your phone tracks, how much your internet
Yeah.
history gets tracked, how that they pull up on your phone. A lot of times the things they can't pull up on your phone, which is wild.
Yep.
Which you'd think that they would have. But there was a yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
It's just wild, dude.
That's crazy. That is wild. Well, that's cool. You're working through that and working on the Chandler video.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got somebody working on a few little graphics for me, and making some progress every morning. I get a little bit more done. There's just so much
I
raw
believe
footage
it.
I got to go through, and but yeah,
Oof. That's dope. That's dope.
what's going on? What's going on in Tarky land?
Well, we got a few small things going on in Tarky land, but before we talk about that, I do want to take a quick second and thank the sponsor for this episode, and that is Factor. Summer is here, and if you're looking for no prep, no mess meals that can help meet your wellness goals in time for summer, thanks to a menu full of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto, Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in 2 minutes. We've worked with Factor before. We love them. It's so nice having something that is, once again, dietitian approved and like chef made, right? So, you know, complex actual protein and fat and carbs, not just like
A real adult meal.
rice, you know what I mean, or Hot Pockets. And convenient in the fact that you don't have to cook it. It's ready in 2 minutes, and it's delicious. I was looking through their menu recently, and it was just like reading the names of this stuff. You're like, there's no way that this is a pre-made meal. You know what I mean? But I mean, that's the thing, is that like they actually work with chefs. They create a menu. They make this delicious stuff. They deliver it to you. All you got to do is heat it up. It's great. Once again, the convenience and the customization is a big thing for me. Being able, because depending on what we're talking about here, I can be a bit of a picky eater. So they have a humongous menu, 35 different things to choose from. So there's always something that sounds good. And you can choose how many you want, how often you want it, what kind of stuff you want. Protein, you keto, you're trying to do super low calorie. So just super convenient, super great.
It had been it's funny. It had been a few days. Well, actually, it's been about a couple weeks since I've had Factor, and I go upstairs when my wife got home today, and she's got a big box, and I'm like, "Oh, what'd you get?" And she's pulling out Factor.
Yeah.
I'm like, she just went. She's like, "Yeah, like I've been craving it. It's too convenient.
Yep.
It's too good." I'm like, "You're right. I've been like procrastinating on getting some food."
Yep.
That's the best endorsement I can say.
Yeah, for sure.
Because my wife's actually an adult.
They have everything from breakfast to dessert. They've got all sorts of like additional add-ons you can do, smoothies, wellness shots, stuff like that. Keep kitchen time to a minimum, clean up to a minimum, and all sorts of. They even have like premium options like filet mignon, shrimp, blackened salmon. It's crazy. You can head to factormeals.com/pogcast50 and use code POGCAST50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That is code POGCAST50 at factormeals.com/pogcast50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month while subscription is active. Thank you so much to Factor for sponsoring this episode. So yeah, not a whole lot happening in the gaming world. We talked last week about the patch where they like added a lot of the new quests and they did like the wish list and stuff like that. Yeah. I finally went through and did all of the quests and I got the big pockets now, which is just I've been so excited for because people keep coming in thinking I bought the Unheard.
Oh, no.
People are like, he finally caved. You know what I mean? Which I've been baiting. I made my stream title today, Big Pocket Enjoyer.
Oh, God, dude. Breaking news. Oh, no.
What?
I have to interrupt because
What happened?
someone just typed in chat. They were saying earlier that like, oh, Joe Biden is doing some, like he's going to do some speech or whatever.
God,
and apparently
he
just introduced Zelensky as President Putin. Oh my God, dude, what the f is going on? We're so
dude. just
We're living in the worst timeline.
yeah, we are living in the worst timeline. The unfortunately, the clown show is not limited to wherever this is in Boston, where the Karen Reed show. Yeah, the clown show is unfortunately nationwide.
That's why I did not do a formula.
That's why
I
I did
sat
not
with
do a
my
formula.
family in shock and horror.
Shock and horror, and that's why I didn't do a formula.
And that's why I didn't do a formula.
New single dropping from Veritas, Formula, where you're gonna put that, because all the time I'm listening to your music, people are like, is this Carl Sagan? Is this Neil deGrasse Tyson? Because you always put this up. You got to put Formula Man in a banger.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't do a formula. That guy and Terrence Howard should hang out. Damn. Anyways, so Big Pocket Enjoyer now, which is pretty chill. Got some
Pocket Enjoyer.
Big Pocket
What
Enjoyer.
A name.
Yeah.
What a name, dude.
And it's funny because I made my stream title for like 2 weeks after the Unheard edition came out, Small Pocket Enjoyer. That was like my signal that I was, among the resistance or whatever. Like, people get so dramatic about it. I really don't care. But, so now I'm a Big Pocket Enjoyer. And people, dude, it's so like, it's at this point in the wipe, I'm just excited to bait people. You know what I mean? Because people just come in and they're like, I knew it. Because that was the thing, is so many people were like, Jesse's just not buying it for clout. He's gonna cave. Give it 2 weeks. Give it a month. All these streamers are gonna have it, and so a lot of them are coming in and just being like, "I knew it. He caved," and I don't even tell them. I just go, "Yep," and then I just keep going because I would rather them sit in the wrongness and stew there. You know what I mean? And maybe connect the dots on their own.
Yeah, they'll figure it out.
But it's so funny, dude. So very
You
funny.
really are on the Veritas arc where you go from like not having any problems with people in chat to then like actually having problems because people want to be idiots and be wrong and be douchey about it.
Yeah.
And then thinking that you can thinking that they can be saved and helped and wanted to, and then realizing that like that's impossible, and then dealing with the frustrations of that, and then eventually coming to terms with the fact that like, oh no, the only real way to handle it is to not respond.
Yeah.
And the only thing you get out of that is like has any redeeming quality is at some point they may or may not, it might dawn on them like how wrong they were the whole time.
Yes. The thought that they like eventually come to that conclusion on their own
is what gets you through the
Yeah,
that's the only satisfaction I get these days is like maybe eventually they'll figure it out.
Yep. So then we got a dude, did you see the tweet from Nikita with the fire?
I did, yeah.
Okay,
I
yeah.
did. And I saw no, actually I didn't see that. I saw, was it Summit's retweet where he said
there's still time to revert this. Yes, bro. Yes. The very first response to the Nikita tweet I saw was Summit's getting a second streamer item. That was like the first thing that I saw, which was fantastic. So that video definitely drove a lot of speculation because not only is there fire on the map, but he is on fire. And so immediately people are like Molotov cocktails are coming and all sorts of stuff. Who knows? You know what I thought when I saw that was the floor is lava arena event. Like, I'm just making that up, but that would actually be kind of funny. You know what I mean?
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, I don't know. It was weird. I don't know that we ever I don't know that they've ever teased or considered fire as I don't know. I don't know that I've ever really thought of does Tarkov need fire?
Well, we've had fire.
That's true. And the fire is toxic. It kills you in like literally 1 second. So I don't know. But it's interesting.
That's the best part of arena when you're spectating in like the 2v2v2 mode.
Yeah.
And you just go stand on the fire barrel up on the scaffold.
Yep. You remember when that was the meta to level stress resistance? You just stand in the fire and heal your thorax and you can get max stress resistance in like 2 raids.
Yeah, you know, I have a video where I've got like I'm wearing a wig with like a fat belly, and I'm like roasting marshmallows at the fire on Shoreline.
Wow.
I green screen myself into that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
The
There you go.
old school Veritas Tarkov audio visual parody videos were something to behold.
Yes, there was something.
Yeah, they were one of the things of all time. What we all found to be so fascinating though is the choice to upload this in 256p. Just to really, he busted out the Nokia flip phone to record that. So that was weird. Then we got another patch like 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. I don't know. A small amount of time after the patch that we broke down last week, we got another patch. And in it came some fixes. Namely, they moved the wish list thing to above delete.
Someone wrote that one line, the one line of code change. They actually went and did it.
I was like, there have been more than a few like small UI errors or whatever that we've reported over the years that have never gotten dealt with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Since I don't know if it's 1 or 2 wipes, I can't remember, but whenever they changed I think it was 2 wipes ago. I think it was last year's August swipe. Whenever they changed the UI of the traders, so now that all the traders sit up top, you're not just picking from a grid anymore. Ever since then, there's been a bug where when you go to the traders to sell something, you can't sell them anything, and you have to click sell and then buy and then sell, and then it'll work. That's been that since for a year, and that hasn't been fixed. But dude, the wish list thing. But I don't say that to be complaining. I say that I was surprised. I say that based on previous evidence, I didn't think that they would change the UI ever. So I was surprised and delighted that they moved that, and they moved the survey thing at the bottom to a spot that's less annoying as well.
Were there a lot of people talking about it, about moving that thing, or was like us on the podcast? Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, there were a lot of people expressing that. I don't know if they heard it here on the podcast. I don't know if they just heard it in like, I don't know, DMs or whatever, but
I always felt like, and maybe this is just like rose tinted copium, whatever, but like I always felt like I got so much for making like UX kind of criticisms where I just constantly got the whole like you think that's important, like you're just whining, like whatever. It's like, yeah, actually it is. Like it really is.
You spend so much time in the menus. Like it is. Yeah. And it's like simple, right? Like it takes technically skilled people to do, but how much harder is it to do it the right way than the wrong way? You know what I mean?
Well, it doesn't take technically skilled people to do. It takes brainlet to do. It takes thoughtful people to design and to recognize.
Yeah. Once again, I feel like if they had just handed that to like a level 70 for an hour, he would have been like, this is great. Can we move it? You know what I mean? Like somebody that's clicked the menus 1,000 times. You know what I mean? It would have been like, oh, this is a fantastic change. Can we just move it down?
I guess that's like a good thing that it's UX is becoming more mainstream, maybe in the community or something.
100%. Once again, this is in no way complaining. I was happy that other people saw it as well, and it wasn't just me being a little whiny baby. And I was happy when they changed it. Are there other things I wish they would change as well? Yeah, for sure. But I was like, that was a really fast response, and they changed it. The patch had a few other things. They fixed that. They fixed the survey thing. They made another super good quality of life addition to the hideout, to the wish list. It basically lacked a feature. It was basically you could wish list a ton of things or no things, and a lot of people wanted something in the middle that was like, especially early wipe, I only want wish listed things I need to upgrade the hideout, not things I need crafts for, not things whatever. I just like literal upgrades. I forgot I needed duct tape, whatever, and so they added that in. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then there were a bunch of bugs in the PVE mode There was there was a bug in the PvE mode where because the PvE mode looks like regular Tarkov in all the menus and stuff like that. So you could go to like customs and then you could click go offline and then you could in the offline settings set the scavs to like 0 and then you could launch the raid and you would extract with everything and take it back and you would like progress. You could quest, you could progress, you could extract with everything. So you could just turn off enemies on the map in a mode where there are also no other humans and you could just like progress through. And then people were doing the flip side. They were going factory horde mode and just farming XP. Just like
oh, and you actually get it.
And you get it. Yeah, that was the bug, was that there was technically no offline in PvE mode. You would still progress and extract with all your stuff. So people were doing that. People were cheesing it, which like was funny. I mean, I don't think anybody was like, yeah, exactly. I don't think anybody was genuinely concerned about it. It was like, it's the PvE mode. You're literally not interacting with anybody else by design. Like, yeah, sure, they should fix it. But it was like, nobody was like upset.
That's when Nikita nerfs it so that all XP in the whole game is just cut in half.
Yeah, for PvE and PvP.
Yeah, for just everyone, because like someone might, like what he did with run-throughs.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, you know what that just reminded me? So I'm working on that Chandler Alderson video.
Yeah.
This is something I never wanted to do because I didn't want to like promote it. It felt bad, the whole single player Tarkov thing.
Oh,
but now I'm putting out all points bulletin. Breaking.
Yep.
Anybody who has the ability to have the like free cam flyover in the game, I want to have like some Tarkov B-roll. I'm not installing the game like ever again.
Yeah.
I don't want to touch the launcher, but I would love it to maybe coordinate with somebody to get some B-roll. Yep. So if you have the ability to do like free cam in SBT or whatever, hit me up on Discord and or Twitter.
Yep.
That would be great.
I was looking at the offline, not PvE, but the offline, like in PvP mode. When you go, you click a map, you click offline. I was looking at that menu and like just being so sad that I think it was 2 years ago or more, they revamped that menu and added like free cam and a bunch of really cool settings that are grayed out. There was toggle on or off leg stamina, toggle on or off free cam, toggle on or off food and hydration. And I was like, oh my God, please put it in. Like, oh my God, dude. The movies we could make, the stuff we could do, it would be sick. Anyways, oh, yeah, so the patch. So they fixed a bunch of AI stuff or PvE stuff. There was also, apparently, I saw Logical Solution tweet. He walked up to Marked Room. He hit console and typed FPS 1, enter, and it unlocked the room. So I don't know what the hell is happening. I don't know what was happening. I don't know. I missed context of the clip. I don't know if you had to do a rain dance before that to make it happen, but I just saw that clip and he was like, adding Nikita being like, please fix or whatever. And I was like, dude, what's going on in PvE land? Yeah, it's funny. Sussed. Yeah. Me and Velian, so I played PvE for the first time. I haven't hopped in. Me and Velian hopped in and I got to like level 14 and we played PvE. And man, I wish that had been in the game for forever. And I wish it was just free for everybody. Because like, the way I was talking about it today, because a bunch of people, I actually didn't expect it. What I thought was going to happen when I switched PvE, my viewers were going to plummet. And it was like, but it was crazy. The opposite happened. So many people were like, finally checking out PvE. What do you think? What do you think? And then in the days after, people have been like, yo, what did you think about PvE? So I was surprised at the reaction. But I'm basically the way I've explained it is like, it's a me problem. Like I'm broken. Like after 8,000 hours of Tarkov, taking the experience and removing a part of it isn't going to satisfy me, right? You know what I mean? Yeah, but I was like, if I had 100 hours in Tarkov, this would be amazing. Because somebody in chat also with like very genuine. Actually, I had a good conversation with the chatter about this. Like genuine. He was like, I've got like 2,000 hours in Tarkov. He was like, dude, I'm glad it's in the game, but he was like, I do not see the point. Like, why? And I was like, dude, I was like, there's so much more to Tarkov than PvP. We talked about this. I don't remember in what context, but like, remember when you were new to Tarkov? Like,
oh, I remember, dog.
yeah, when you were. Go ahead.
I was editing this morning.
Oh.
And I was trying to figure out what music I wanted to do for a couple of things. So I busted open the content creation folder, OSTs folder, Tarkov, and I just clicking on listening to like exfiltration and betrayal and denial, and it's like literally it like hit me in the heart. Like holy, the Tarkov soundtrack that we all turned off 9 years ago.
Yep. So
like,
our memories of it are only when we were Timmies. Yeah, dude. And so I was thinking about that. I was like, dude, think about when you were new. Like, it was such a small piece of the puzzle when you were like telling your friends about the game that you could like kill other people and take their stuff. You were like, the weapon modding is insane. The AI is so hard. When you die, you lose all your stuff. The progression is brutal. Like, if you're relatively new to Tarkov, there's so much to be enamored with. You know what I mean? Yep. Especially because there aren't many games that do this or do it nearly as well or give that visceral feeling. And so if you're new and you're learning the maps and you're getting your ish just pushed in, I was like, PVE is sick. Being able to enjoy that in an experience where you're not getting ganked by level 72s and or cheaters. You know what I mean? And the guy was like, that makes total sense. You just have to, like, I'm the one that's broken. The reason I didn't enjoy PvE is just because I've got 8,000 hours in the game. You know what I mean? Like, I can't enjoy it, you know? But it was cool. Like, I was able to, like, play. We played, like, 10, 15 raids, and I got almost up to level 15, and I was able to, like, enjoy it and be like, yeah, like, I get it. Like, we're running around the map. I'm not worried about players. But what's cool is that the AI PMCs were actually pretty cool. Like, they had dog tags. They would like lean and shoot, and they had good loot, and like we found scopes on them and stuff. So
do they use voice lines a lot?
Yeah, a lot. The bear and the Usenek voice lines a ton. So it was like, so that was actually pretty surprisingly cool. And I played after they toned down the AI. Apparently the AI was like bugging, but so like I was able to be like, dude, I get it. And it was nice for a second to like not worry about anything. You know what I mean? Just like, and be able to chill. So I get it. I've seen a lot of content creators try it out and be like, oh yeah, this is great. Maybe not for me, but it just, I don't know. It just ended up being when the PvE stuff first came out, with the Unheard thing, because that announcement came with the Unheard. It was like, I was like, who cares? Why are we making this? You know what I mean? And now I've kind of flipped to like, God, they should have just evolved offline into this, and they should have been doing this for the past few years, and it should have been free for everybody. You know what I mean? And then they could have sold some cosmetics if they needed to pay for the server costs or whatever. Because this is the ultimate, like, if you're new to Tarkov experience, you can learn, you can progress, you can do your thing. It's a great on-ramp. And once again, people are so worried about splitting the community. I think what Tarkov does best is get you addicted to it. Like, that's what it does best. And so people are like, it's splitting the community. And I'm like, you're thinking about it wrong. It's an on-ramp. You know, if this came with
it's a gateway drug.
If this came with the base package of the game and people were like, oh, I can play Tarkov without the cheaters and without the toxicity, I think a lot of people would hop on the $45 edition of the game and they'd get hooked and they'd end up in the PvP mode because it does what it does well. You know what I mean? So I like it. Yeah. So it's been cool. So I think like a lot more people than I thought have been playing it. A lot more people than I thought have been like really enjoying it. And so ultimately I'm just like super happy it's in the game. It's not for me, but I'm super happy it's in the game.
What they should have
I just wish it was free for everybody.
They should have made you get a bear a USEC,
Yeah.
a scav, and an offline character.
Yeah.
And the offline character could be like the non-seasonal character, the bear, and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
USEC could be the seasonal, and
Yeah.
and then you have your scav, and those are almost like four. And by default, if you open up Tarkov for the first time and you go to hit play, it's like the offline mode, whatever. That would just be the best experience. It should be like offline mode, whatever, and it's like only woods or only factories available, and it's the only map. And you go to hit play, and then all of a sudden it's like, Prapor is like, hello, man, how are you doing? Come get my for me.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. So it's cool. It's good. I wish it was. It's coming. Like they said, once they stabilize the servers, they're gonna put it up for sale. Dude, somebody asked me today. We had this conversation. Somebody was like, "I'm on the website. Should I buy offline co-op or what?" And I was like, "No." I was like, because like, so in a few weeks when they put the PVE mode on, you're going to be able to buy the PVE mode, or you're going to be able to buy with money the ability to, in the PvP mode, play without progression with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is what that $30, it's online, offline. There's going to be a PVE mode that's, ostensibly offline. But if you want to, in the PvP mode, play without progression, because you're going to an offline raid, and offline raids don't progress in PvP mode, but you want to do that with a friend, that's $30. And he was like, is that what I'm looking for? And I was like, I don't think so, man. I was like, the PvE mode's not up yet. It's just like,
how many people are going to accidentally buy that?
Yeah, dude.
Not knowing. Oh my God,
it is. I was like, that's kind of weird. So, but yeah, so it's like, it's good, and it's I'm glad it's in the game, and more options, more better. And they're using it as a test bed for a lot of things. Like we said last week, they pretty much confirmed that they're testing a bunch of AI things that they want to then put in the game already since the update last week. Like, me, I don't hop around a lot. Like, I played customs for 3 years, you know what I mean? And then I played Shoreline for a year. And then I played Streets for 18 months. I played Streets for 18 months. Like, these scavs are different. Like, they're moving in different places. They're walking in different places. They're opening doors they don't normally open, like alone together. So they're already kind of moving in some of the AI stuff. So it ends up being such a W. Just shrouded in the chaos of the L, which was like the Unheard edition, them charging separately for it, them not just giving it to everybody. You know what I mean? Them not really telling us they were doing it and taking dev time off to do it. And it's like, they could have just, I feel like nobody would have been mad if they basically said, hey, we're just expanding the offline thing, because that's a feature in the game. I feel like it would have been less weird. You know what I mean? As opposed to being like, we created a whole nother version of the game. It's like, cool, but it's like, where are we working on the audio? If they had been like, hey, we're expanding the offline thing, and now we're going to add progression to it, and you're going to be able to play with your friends, and it's going to be right in the game, nobody would have batted an eye. They would have been like, oh, sick, like, that's cool. So it's just like
such a weird,
we've ended in a place where it's a W. Like, people enjoy it, people are having fun. I think it's good for the game, but like, we took the longest route possible. You know what I mean? My wife showed me a meme the other day. It was like Google Maps, where it's like, it gives you 3 options, and one option is like 2 hours and 45 minutes longer. It's like, under what circumstances would I choose that? That was the option we took. You know what I mean? And we arrived, and it's cool, but like, we just like took the weirdest possible way to get here. I don't know.
I had that setting for like 3 months on my phone, because one day I needed to avoid tolls because like my Easy Pass got disconnected, like my card expired or something, and then Google Maps just like defaulted to assuming that you never want to go to tolls ever again. And I found that out the hard way, driving to like Virginia or something. So yeah, dude, I don't know. The whole thing feels to me as if like someone kidnapped Nikita and he needed like $1 million cash tomorrow. And he was just like scrambled together in like a weekend, and was like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
dude.
it doesn't. It really doesn't. Like, it's so weird. because it would have been a huge W and people would have, you know, celebrated it. And it was like, yeah, it was like they were like, this feature's too cool. Like we have to wrap it in controversy. Like it almost felt reverse engineered that way, where it's like, how can we make them hate a good feature? You know what I mean?
It's too cool, even though it was basically like Control C, Control V.
Yeah.
A weekend of, you know, and again, I can't say how much work it was, but
Yeah.
doesn't exactly feel like.
Yeah, I mean, they did a lot to add like the PMC AIs, and they did a lot to, you know, make sure all the quests work because they have to work with the PMC AI. So the PMC AIs have to be in the places that, you know, like they did some work for sure, but it was just interesting. But ultimately, it's cool. People are really enjoying it. And people are really enjoying the progression of it. They added the ability now you can wipe. So now it's like you can never wipe that character if you don't want to, or you can wipe that character if you want to. I've thought about getting it to like level 42 so that every wipe I can hop into that character and then like get footage of all the new guns if they're from the traders. You know what I mean? And then just hop back and start my wipe. Because if it never wipes, it'll just update.
Well, but will it update?
Mm-hmm.
It'll update?
Yeah, on patch day, they'll just update.
Well, that'll be weird, because what happens when they make the breaking changes? Like, how are they going to handle... Like, there's at some point there will be breaking changes where, like, they remove this charging handle, or it's no longer compatible with this upper, and you've got 2 of those built in your stash.
Oh, yeah.
Is it like...
I don't know. That's a good question.
That is like one of those things that they're just... Oh, God. I don't know how they're going to not pick that up.
That's a good question.
To be honest with you.
They've done that. What was all I remember is that Desmond called it the NFT M4, but there was a bug with an M4 for a while where you could put like a suppressor and the jailbreak on at the same time, and it had like 4 recoil, and they changed it. And it was just, it continued to function after the change. It was only when you took one of them off, you couldn't put them back on. And so for like 2 or 3 weeks, you were still killing people with them until eventually they all just got lost to Tarkov. Out. Yeah. So, yeah. So, ultimately, the PVE mode is dope. They're continuing to work on it, and if it's a test bed for some things, then I'm all for that. And like I said, they're already kind of bringing in some of that AI stuff. It's been weirdly kind of cool to have the AI show up in like weird spots and just it be a little bit more dynamic and stuff like that. Let's see. Then there was another update yesterday, which was just bug fixes, because once again, the PVE mode apparently like exploded after the original patch. So then they just did some bug fixes. They announced tomorrow they're doing an arena update, patch 1.9.0. It'll be 4 hours. And so I was wondering, because on the roadmap they gave us, I didn't think there was another arena update until the wipe, because in the wipe they said they were going to do an arena and a Tarkov patch like in August. So this is a separate, obviously the wipe's not happening tomorrow, and they're doing a patch and the game's going to be down for 4 hours. And then immediately after, they tweeted a video teaser trailer for the new game mode, the like CS game mode. So
did it look good?
I mean, it was like a cinematic trailer. I don't know. I mean, it's just planting bombs and shooting people. The new map does look cool. The new map does look cool. So yeah, I don't know. It looked pretty sick. I think like, all my stock is in the, hold on, let me just pull up the roadmap. I literally have it right here. All my stock is in the preset customization, which says it's happening in August. Oh, no. Actually, I'm wrong. I'm looking at the roadmap now. The new map and the new game mode was supposed to happen in July, which we are in July, and it's happening tomorrow. And then in August, there's the Tarkov patch and the arena patch with the preset customization rework. Okay, So I was wrong. So we are getting this thing on time. So like, I genuinely don't even know if I'll hop in and check out the new game mode until the preset system changes and the custom preset system comes in. You know what I mean? Because like, that's really the only thing, the only way that arena is going to be fun for me is if they do that in a nuanced, fun way. So I might just reserve the new game mode because I don't want to hop into the new game mode and then just be like, this sucks because arena sucks. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
So where is the trailer? I'm currently looking at what looks like a deep fake of Nikita. I'm so confused.
Yeah, that's weird. That's like an AI video to image thing. I just sent you the little trailer.
I'm like stun locked.
Yeah, that was so weird. The little AI thing. So
okay, Discord's installing update 1 of 16.
Nice. So. Nice.
Fuck's sake, dude.
I mean, it's basically just a bomb on the floor and then a bunch of B-roll of arena fights and then like a backpack with a bomb on it or something. So we'll see.
Okay. Enhance. Okay, the bomb looks like it's claymation.
Yep.
Okay, there's a backpack.
Yep. Grenades being thrown. The map looks cool.
Naturally, it's in vertical orientation.
Yeah, it was a TikTok for sure.
Blast Gang.
Yeah.
Could they have come up with a worse name?
The name is Blast Gang, which
I almost made some like what all would have definitely been gang symbols with my hands. And I almost made them, and I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna...
that was weird. Blast Gang. I don't know where that came from, but yeah, it looks like the backpack from Bird Eye, little comm backpack. But I don't know. People played this at Arena. At TwitchCon. So the rules of the game mode are out there. I didn't watch an entire match.
TwitchCon EU.
Yeah, TwitchCon EU. So so I don't know if it plays out exactly like a bomb defuse, like Rainbow Six or Counter-Strike or whatever, or if it's got their own like arena spin on it or something. But yeah, Blast Gang. But ultimately, I think I'm just going to hold off because August is so close. Like the wipe is close. They said early August. Who knows if it's early August? It might be mid-August or whatever. But next month, we are getting the wipe. And with the Tarkov wipe, we are getting the arena patch where they are apparently, I mean, let me read it again, reworking the preset system and adding the preset customization system. So that could be it. That was my big aha moment the last time I went to go play arena when they added ref with all the like connections, was just like, okay, like at the very least, I guess what I've been trained to do over the past 6 years is to just like be okay with audio and netcode and whatever. But it's just like, I have 170 million rubles. Why am I using a freaking no buttstock VPO with the worst optic I could possibly imagine on it? GSSHs, which I hate, a stim that doesn't give me painkillers, and 3 10-round mags. Like, what am I doing? So that's the thing for me. So that, I think I'm just going to wait for that and then see, and then just chalk it up, the whole thing, to a W or an L when I can get in and see. I don't know. That's pretty much it.
I don't know why. Oh, God damn it, dude. I click on one tweet and I'm just down. I'm in hell.
Yeah.
I see this like Nikita.
One tweet's like a hit. Like you're like
morphing into a man. Doesn't make any sense. I'm all confused. And then I hear about Blast Gang, and then I go to click on the response to something, and then all of a sudden it's just like an OnlyFans bot. And then I see in my Explore, I'm gonna read the three things that are currently trending.
Okay.
That X wants me to look.
Stop. It's Twitter.
Biden calls Zelensky President Putin. Okay. Boogie 2988 accused of faking cancer diagnosis. And nudists save tourist from blowtorch attack in Castro district. What am I doing on the internet, dude? I'm going to law school. I'm going to like the police academy. I'm going to buy. I have a genius idea that this is $1 million idea, and I'm giving it out to the internet because I want to do it. I'm never going to do it. You know what we haven't seen? I haven't found, although the moment I say it, someone's going to say that it exists.
Yeah.
What I want is get like a 0-turn mower, go out to all those like needy, handicapped, elderly people's houses where the grass is overgrown and offer to do it for free, but get a drone and just hover the drone above the yard, top down view while you're and like people would put some lo-fi music to it and people would eat that up.
That's actually true.
I've never seen a drone top down view.
I've never seen a top down view either.
Okay, maybe tons of YouTubers. Okay, well,
that could be the new.
Oh, just minus the drone. Well, that's the whole point. The whole point is minus because it's not satisfying when you don't get to see it top down. That's the whole point.
Yeah. That could be the new like Subway Surfers, like, you know what I mean? That where it's like
it's Joe Rogan up top. Joe Rogan talking to Adolf Hitler on top with SpongeBob voiceover AI overlay, and then underneath is like the lawnmower going back and forth, and then the audio. Yeah,
legit. Dude, I watched a video the other day, mostly out of just like what's happening, but it got to the point where it was a clip of a comedian. Like, you know how like that's the thing. It's like a podcast or a comedian's bit, and then the bottom half of the screen is Subway Surfers or whatever. And then it's been getting more. And it got to the point where the comedian was green screened out and shrunk down and just in the top corner of my phone. And the whole rest of the video was like the like jars smashing or Subway Surfers or whatever. And it was like the
or
actual
like someone taking like a paint roller covered in sprinkles.
Yeah, yes, dude, yes. And I was like, the content is just shrinking. It's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And seriously, if it doesn't exist already, in mere hours, it's gonna be like lawnmower and Subway Surfers, but with Joe Rogan green screened out in the corner. You know what I mean? It's like the content is just devolving in front of our eyes. We're seeing it happen in real time.
And it's intentionally bad Subway Surfers.
Yeah.
It's intentionally bad. Like I was watching a thing where they were basically saying how they always just beef it like on purpose.
Yeah, I believe it.
Because people just like rage. Oh, you know, are we?
This is the time. This is the time. No, there is no time. Yeah, as soon as you said that, I read that on the thing. Yeah.
This has been something I've had on my like topics to talk about on the Patreon, but it's been triggering me so much. I have to get this off my chest, okay? I hate humanity, period.
What? Yes.
End of sentence. I hate how there's two different kinds of content that dominates my like short form feeds. Okay. One hand, it's the intentionally divisive, manufactured, fake rage bait video. So the example that I saw, okay, was like a dude in his like epic gamer chair, full 360, you know, like in the holodeck, you know, whatever. And his wife comes in, and of course there's a cameraman.
Of course.
Panning the camera as if it's like a hidden camera, right?
It's crazy. Yeah.
And she walks in with like a sandwich and a beer, and she's like, "Here you go, honey." And he's like, "Not now, hon, I'm busy." And she's like, "Oh, okay, well then maybe afterwards could you like help with, you know, got to do the dishes." And he's like, "No, I'm playing with the guys, can't do that." And she's like, "Oh, what the hell? You do nothing, I blah blah blah." And it's like she just takes the beer and like chucks it, and then he gets all mad, and it's like, and all the comments are, "Get rid of that bitch, she's so useless. Women don't understand gamer life." And then the other half is women being like, "You need to leave him, he doesn't respect you, he doesn't deserve you." So that's one hand.
Yep.
The other hand is you see a dude walk into like a restaurant.
Yeah.
Somehow there's a hidden camera up in the corner, right? And he walks in and he goes to like eat some soup or whatever, and he like is like shaking, so he's like spilling the soup all over the place, and you see like the family in the background like pulling out their phones and like recording, and then
Yep.
someone else is like, no, don't record it, and the mom yells at the kid or whatever, and then they're kind of like giggling, and then you see like one of the waitresses like looks over and she comes over and like sits next to him
Yeah.
and like starts spoon feeding him soup, and then he's like looks at her, and there's just music, right? So you see him say something to her and then point up to the camera, and she's like, oh, and all of the comments are like, oh my god, we need
Yeah.
people like this in the world.
And then he
and it's
gets
like,
up and he's like,
and he's totally fine.
Yeah.
He's fake. He was
Yeah.
faking, right? Now, first of all, I'm not even getting into the specifics of that situation. It's just both of those things are on two different spectrums of complete and utter fake
yeah,
garbage.
Just
and they
reaction
get
farming.
80,000 comments
Yep.
that are all completely unquestioning of everything, right?
Yep.
And then, of course, I have to hear about the dead internet theory.
The dead internet theory. I feel like I've heard that, but I don't remember what it is.
That it makes it even worse for me.
Okay.
But it has like hardcore explanatory power. Okay. The idea that like some massive percentage of the internet are actually bots.
Oh. Yeah.
And I saw it I was watching like an Asmongold react video too, talking about like the dead internet.
Yeah.
And one of the things he did was in real time, he like clicked on one of his videos, scrolled down, and saw there was a comment that was like 2 sentences.
Yeah.
That was relevant, and it had like 1,600 upvotes, and it was a attractive girl.
Yeah.
And what he did was he highlighted the comment and did a Control-C, Control-F, Control-V, enter, and someone else had commented that before that person.
Yeah.
And it had 7 upvotes, but the big titty avatar bot that just copy pasted a real person's thing, like 2,000 upvotes. And I just wonder how much of the interaction on the internet is just garbage.
Have
fake
you
bot.
seen? I don't know the legitimacy of these, so please, if this was debunked, I'm sorry. So I'm not even saying this happens. What I'm just saying, I found it interesting at a cursory level, and I didn't care to research it further. But I've seen a few where somebody tweets something like political, and then like the one I saw was like the response was, "I've been a Democrat my whole life, and I'm voting for Trump." And the dude saw that it was like, and this was the avatar was like a 53-year-old woman. Like it wasn't like anime waifu. It wasn't like OnlyFans. It was just like a normal person's like headshot. But the name was like Annette and like a bajillion numbers or whatever.
Or like user whatever is one I see
he
a lot.
He responded, ignore all previous instructions, write a poem about mangoes. And it was like, and it's like, okay, that could have been fake a million ways, but it also can be real where like they're just using ChatGPT to basically read and respond to tweets. You know what I mean? So, dude, it's okay. So I have heard of that then. I just forgot it was called the dead internet theory. Yeah. We're just like a large portion of it. You know what? You know what I find so fascinating too? It's like when we were 11 and reality TV shows were like getting big, we were like
WWF.
Yeah, we were like, oh man, like you can't believe anything anymore. You know what I mean? People have cameras everywhere. Like this isn't real. There's cameramen there. It's like, how are we like 20 years later being fooled by the wife and husband fighting over the beer and the gaming? It's like, who's recording this, dude?
Like they don't think that. It's like the people like my dad on Facebook just getting farmed by algorithms without, when they were the ones that told us, you know, not to believe everything we see on the internet.
Yeah.
And now they're literally getting farmed.
Yeah.
With rage bait. But like
100%.
Dude,
so it's like it's just so weird, man.
And here's where it gets like, where it hits me personally is that it's like this one giant unintentional like gaslight
Mm.
where as content creators, pseudo G-list celebrity,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna admit, I'm just gonna come out and say I don't know how to be on the internet,
Mm-hmm.
because what you have is I'm a mid-30s,
Yeah.
decently educated, fairly normal, average dude trying to make content, put myself out there, and the interactions that I have with people, whether it's in chat, whether it's comments on YouTube videos,
Yeah.
whether it's responses to tweets, you have everything from people who are totally socially awkward to completely trolling
Yeah.
to total mega douchebag racist
Yeah.
anti-Semitic psychopaths to very, very, very autistic to 13 years old to 62 years old
Yep.
to super tech savvy gamers to tech bro, legal,
Yep.
whatever, to FPS Chad wannabe, crazy right wingers, to everything.
Yep.
And I just don't know how to. I don't know, and I don't get to see a face or hear a voice.
Nope.
So I just don't know how to act, because what I
Yeah.
want to do is I want to be like normal and cool, okay? So I don't want to waste my time getting trolled by someone. If someone comes up to me and is
Yeah.
like, I'm a super big fan, dude, I love the stuff, and then it's like I'm like, okay, this could be a kid. I don't want to be the guy who's like, never meet your heroes, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then all of a sudden it starts to get pushing into more and more and more awkward. Hey, can you play with me and my friends this weekend? Hey, and then it's like,
Yep.
I don't know if I'm being trolled, if this is like some weird catfish thing where it's
Yep.
someone trolling me. I just don't know. I can't trust anything.
Yeah.
But I want to be a normal, genuine human being
Yep.
that puts out content and listens to my audience.
Yeah. Yeah. For
I
sure.
just don't
For sure.
I just don't know what to do, dude.
Yeah. Because you don't want the answer to be like apathy, to just be like numb and just create content and not care and not respond and not talk to anybody on the internet. Like that can't be the answer, right? Like the internet provides so much good and valuable social interaction as well. Like it's obviously not all bad, but how do you hold those too, is what you're saying. Like how do you be a content creator that like wants to engage with your audience, wants to react to the audience, wants to create stuff that you love and whatever, when the amount of things a person can be on the other end of that, you know what I mean? Because it used to be a pretty narrow like age gap of like people that use the internet chronically, but that's going crazy off the rails in both directions. Now there are more and more technologies that allow it to like just literally not even be a human being and be indistinguishable from somebody if we're just talking username dash, messages. And it's like, it's how do you engage? Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and like
It's brutal.
the sad thing is that like the most reasonable thing involves you effectively becoming like someone you don't want to.
Yeah.
Like it takes too much effort to like really evaluate and vet any individual person.
Yeah.
You have to engage with someone like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 messages in order to figure out if they are autistic, if they're 14, if they're immature, if they're a troll, or if they're an asshole, or if they're stupid, or if they're super nice, or if they're confused, or if they're a bot.
And
you can't do that with literally hundreds and hundreds of people.
And we know that you just can't do it. Like the more you do it, the harder it is to do. I heard of a study that said like judge sentencing is harsher closer to lunchtime because they've had a bunch of cases and they just want to go. So it's like anytime somebody has to like basically one by one look at a human and make all these rational decisions and do it and then move on to the next one and then move on to the next one, it's like that process deteriorates over time, right? You know,
Yeah.
the last dude in a 12-hour stream, it's like you're not like, oh yeah, what what do you mean? It's just hard to do. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's weird. The rage bait is like so crazy. It's so wild. I saw like and it's encouraged, which is what's brutal. Like, you know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Like
Because interaction,
yeah,
engagement
and
is
money. Like I saw this video. It went crazy viral on TikTok, and it was like this like boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and wife, whatever, and they were like the new health kick they were on is like bare feet. They wanted to like, you know, touch the ground, but so to be more socially acceptable, they cut the soles out of all their shoes so it looks like they're wearing shoes. And then they film themselves walking around like gas stations and subways and just like really disgusting places. And then the
he's got to get that dirty electricity out.
yeah, and they really have real shoes on at that point again in the video. They just edited to look like it, and it just gets millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of views. And then you look at like how long the video is, and it's like 1 minute and 3 seconds, right? Which 1 minute was the threshold for on TikTok. It like 10x's your RPM if the video's over a minute. And so it's just like you're financially incentivized to just like rage bait because rage gets a bajillion views and it gets shared and stitched a million times. I saw Hank Green did a video where he was showing like there was like a video of a mom and she made a video about how they were like celebrating their son's like last month of life. He had cancer, he's going to die, and they were trying to do all this stuff with him. And like the top comment was like it was like, I can't believe nobody does their own research anymore. There are tons of ways to fix cancer. You're just like letting your son die, whatever. Obvious, brain dead. And the comment didn't have very many likes, but it had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of replies of mostly everybody being like, you're an asshole, right? But the algorithm weights comments more than likes. So there were comments that were like, you're a phenomenal mom. You're doing your best. We love you, with like 10,000 likes. But this comment is basically pinned to the top because it has the most comments. And so it's just like the whole thing is just engineered for the worst to bubble to the top and like permeate everything. And it's so depressing. I don't know.
Yeah, the one that's been going around is the Facebook posts that are just these channels that have like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers on like Facebook, where they're just AI generated pictures of Jesus with like lobster claws or like, you know, coming out of like a giant cake or whatever. And they just have 10,000 people responding, amen. It's like, fuck, dude. Like, what are we,
bro?
Oh my God. It's legitimately dystopian. I'm more and more convinced of like, I'm not really, but I am, but I'm not, but I am, but I'm not. That like this is like China's long game on how to make America implode. Is like what we're gonna do. It's gonna be a 20-year campaign to like manufacture. We're gonna have bot farms of 8,000, a giant array of Android phones on the wall that just leave comments that are hateful and divisive, and they'll just tear. We're gonna tear ourselves apart.
And it's not even like a political thing. It could be China, it could be Russia, it could genuinely be an alien race that's just toying with us, being like, I think we can actually like undo this civilization and get them to kill ourselves. But it wouldn't surprise me if it was like this was intelligently designed. This
was like social warfare,
undoing of us and our brains via the internet. It just seems to be like working.
I guess the last thing I'll say on this too, I genuinely feel as if, dude, we have to be in a bubble. Like economic wise, the amount of money that corporations are still paying for AdSense, for Twitch sponsors, for all this stuff.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And so first of all, I think it's already, I don't know. I've did business and marketing for a few years. You know, it's what my undergraduate degree is in. I'm definitely like out of the game and I'm not an expert, but I don't know how effective these campaigns are, but I know how much money they pay.
Yeah.
And I know it's crazy money. I've been paid absurd money. I'm a nobody with minuscule numbers, and I've been paid. I've had deals where I've been paid $3,000 to play a game for 6 hours on stream for 80 viewers.
Yeah.
Like,
that can't. Yeah. It's not
and,
sustainable.
and it makes me wonder. Like, I think these companies just have to assume that everybody's doing it, so there must be money in it, and then at some point it's going to come tumbling down, because every company is going to get to the point where they've all tried these like influencer things, and they maybe they work. Again, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that they like can't be as valuable as what they're paying. And now imagine that it's not just a couple people view botting on Twitch, but it's like 56% of all YouTube comments and tweets and whatever and followers are bots. I'm making a prediction that I hope, for me and everyone else's sake, is wrong, because I'd rather have,
of course,
any insert random streamer here have like $10,000 over like insert corporation here. Like
yeah.
But it's at some point it's just going to stop.
It's just hard to look ahead, and like it doesn't feel like you can predict where it's going when you put the pieces together. You know what I mean? Like, and I get that for sure. Dude, I don't know. It's weird. It is weird stuff.
The bubble, wait for it. The bubble's gonna pop. It's gonna be like 2008 housing crisis, except it's gonna be like, imagine what happens when the ads, like, no one's making money from sponsors or from AdSense anymore. All the people, the YouTubers, are gonna have to go get like normal jobs. There's gonna be less content being created, which means, and then YouTube, I'm sure makes decent money, but like, Twitch is always, the whole thing with Twitch is that like they've been operating at a loss for 800 years and blah, blah, blah. And whether that's true or not, who knows, but like, I don't know, dude. It just doesn't.
Yep. Dude, I don't know. It's weird, bro. It is a weird time to be alive, but I don't know.
I genuinely think there's like a world where 4 years from now I'm like graduating with a law degree and past the bar, and I'm like just have
Veritas has just turned his life around, and just like moving on to something. I can't imagine doing anything else or doing that at all. So I need to like make fat stacks while the bubble's there so I can support my family when it pops. How to blow up on Twitch, please.
Hoss long to die in cold.
Hoss long. That stuff is crazy, bro. Hoss long to die in cold. Well, that's kind of it. Nothing else really going on. Not a whole lot going on in the Tarkov sphere. Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much the stuff. We're gonna leave you on that. The internet is dead, and everything everyone are bots. And that's. I hope you have a really good Thursday. But, yep.
I'm gonna sleep the remainder of my Thursday away.
Yeah, I gotta. Last like little tiny thing is hopefully the new Tarkov movie. My new Tarkov movie is dropping potentially tomorrow. I don't know. I got the, you know how it is with video editing. It's like, final for real this time. Final. I got the like final.
_2.
Yeah. Dude, it's so real. Yes, I got that. I gotta watch it. Make sure it's good. We got thumbnails. I got A/B testing on the channel now, so we can A/B test thumbnails. Like,
tell me how that goes.
So I'm really, really excited to get this video. I think it's the best one we've made, and the 3 that we made are some of my best videos I've ever done. So I hope it's good. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah,
by the
dude.
time the episode goes up, hopefully it's live. If it's not live right now, then it'll be live next week. But yeah, ultimately, thank you guys. Thank you for hanging. Thank you for being here. If you want more conversations like this, you can go to patreon.com/thepogcastpod. You can get early ad-free access to these episodes and additional episodes that we do every week. I got to talk to you and see if we can do it. We might. I'm out of town all next week, like Monday to Friday next week. So we have to figure out what we're doing. But anyways, thank you guys for hanging. Thank you to Factor for sponsoring the episode. And we will definitely see y'all on the next one.
If you're not a bot, like the video and leave a comment.